Thank you everybody for coming today. This is a huge crowd, so I'm a little bit nervous. But, all right, so I just want to tell you a few things about myself. I'm 47 years old. I've been married for 28 years. I'm an orthodontic assistant, and I've been lifetime for 19 years. But I did not keep it off, so that's basically what I'm up and down, and I'm going to go into all of that. This round, I lost 72 pounds. I lost 14 pounds prior to Weight Watchers, but the whole total was about 72 pounds. I'm a serial joiner, quitter, and how many of you can relate to that? Yeah. I'm a binger, and I'm a night snacker, and I say that in the present term because it has never gone away from me. It's just basically trying to figure out what's causing it, what's making me do this, and I still haven't figured it out yet, but I'm getting there. And I guess what I'm trying to say, it's about progression and not perfection. There's never going to be a perfect day. There's never going to be a perfect week. It's always, if you do better than you did the last time, then you're okay, you're progressing. So just never look at it like you have to be perfect in everything, because it's impossible to do that. Okay, and I got my notes because I tend to ramble sometimes. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've learned from my mistakes. I've taken them and tried figuring. I'm a figure-outer. I like to figure out why I did something, and let's see. Okay, so going back to something that I was thinking about. About 13 years ago, I was in a bookstore, and I went past the autobiography section, and I remember, and I don't know why I thought about this, but I thought, these people have such interesting lives. They have enough to be able to write a book, and people will buy it and actually read it. And I thought, this is the thought that stayed in my mind for years. I have nothing to say. I have a blah life. And there's nothing that I could write in a book that anybody would actually buy. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but I kept on thinking about it. Little did I know that within the next month, I had a huge story to tell. And I will get into that in just a minute. So, my earliest memory that I have about being aware of my weight was about when I was 10 or 11 years old. My sister and I, I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and my sister and I were on the chubby side. We were, at that awkward age where you're 10, 11, 12 years old. And every single time we would go over to my grandmother's house, we'd walk in the door, and she'd say, "God, you girls are getting fat." Thanks, Grandma. That really helped out, So that was something that my sister and I just dreaded going over to my grandma's house. I mean, I really... then my other grandma would always, love us and give us the comfort and everything like that. But I love my grandma, but, that was hard. And then when I was in high school, middle school, high school, I was kind of the bigger friend. And what I mean by bigger was not really big, but I had friends that were 5'5", 5'6", and they were like 95 pounds. And here I am, 5'3", and I'm 130 pounds. So I felt like I was always the bigger girl, so that stuck with me. I had a hard time with that. I'm a food addict. I'm not going to ever deny that. It's my drug of choice. It's something that comforts me. It's something that I go to when I need something, and I have to stop myself because I have to constantly be aware of what I'm doing, because before I know it, I'm shoving stuff in my mouth, and I'm looking at it like, why did I just do that? So even when you get to lifetime and you get to your goal, that does not go away. You have to just kind of keep it under control. Hi, everybody. All right, let me see where I am. Okay, my daughter, I got married when I was 19 years old. And I had my son right away. So he was born like about 5 months later after I got married. You can do the math. Then I had my daughter when I was 21 years old, so I was a mom of 2 at 21. And 14 months later, when my daughter was born, she was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So she suffered so much through her life, and I was a hospital mom. So when I went to the hospital, we would, all you have to do is sit there and watch TV, eat, go down to the cafeteria, eat more, eat more, eat more. So she was in the hospital for months on end. So it wasn't just kind of a hospital visit, it was hospital stays. That poor little thing suffered so much. So then I remember, I put the weight on, and then in 1997, we went over to my mother-in-law's house, and we hadn't seen her for a while. And she lost a ton of weight. And I remember asking her, what did you do? And she says, Weight Watchers. And I thought, I'm 26 years old. Weight Watchers is for old ladies. That's still the stigma that's going on. It's hard on guys, and I congratulate all you guys because I think it's wonderful that men do this. Because it's got to be really hard coming in here, and it's kind of like a woman's social club. So I commend you guys. You guys are great. So then she tells me this, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is like something, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to watch my food, or I'll do the cabbage diet, or, maybe Atkins is going to work. So I kept on thinking about it. This was on a Sunday. And on a Tuesday, I remember thinking, you know what? Why not? What do I have to lose if I walk in there and I don't like it, whatever. I walked in, and the meeting was fantastic. The leader was great. And I thought, you know what, I can try this. I'm going to do this. So that was January 1997. I did fantastic. I went every Tuesday, weighed in, did what I needed to do. And I tracked on paper, so they didn't have anything, the apps or anything, but I did everything on paper. It was the exchange program. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that one. Where you had to check everything off, and I was great with it because a little bit of my OCD was perfect on it. So I ended up losing 57 pounds, and I hit goal in October. So it took me about 10 months to hit goal, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm going for Lifetime. So 6 weeks later, I hit Lifetime right before Thanksgiving. So, and I did great until Christmas. Christmas, we ended up making cookies. My mouth is so dry. We ended up making cookies, and guess what I did? Kept on eating them. Gained weight. Now, when you're Lifetime, you only have to weigh in once a month. So, within that month, I had to do that, but I was up, and I didn't want to have to pay. So, I thought, I'm just going to wait until the end of January. Well, that never happened. So I never went back. So I never, went back and weighed in or anything like that. And I just ended up quitting. I thought, I can do this on my own. I don't need to. I'm going to go back when I lose the weight. How many of you have done that? So I never went back. Let's see. So then in 2000, this was in 1997. In 2002, my daughter she was in remission for about 3 years. In 2002, she relapsed, and we were back in the hospital again. And this was a 2-month hospital stay, I remember. And again, eating, staying by her side, eating off of her tray, which she wasn't going to eat, ordering an extra meal, just because I wanted it. Going down to, I wouldn't even exercise. I was just kind of, staying by her side. And then, and then she got better. And then in 2004, we went on a vacation down to North Carolina. And I remember being there. This was in August, and I remember being so heavy and getting on my knees and just praying, Lord, just please let me enjoy my family while I'm down here and not let my weight be distracted. And I don't know why I did that, because I wanted to be engaged and be aware of what my surroundings were and just take everything in with my family vacation. I know why now I did that, but at the moment I didn't know. Little did I know, this is a time, little did I know that 2 weeks later, my daughter, she was my best friend, she was wonderful, she was by my side all of the time. She passed away. She was 13 years old. I no longer had my best friend to get me through the hardest time of my life. It was devastating. If anybody has ever lost anybody, you know what it feels like, and to lose your child is indescribable. So needless to say, I put a ton of weight on. I just piled it on. It was my comfort. It was there for me. I got through that part because that was the part that I was a little worried about. All right. So I just kept on putting it on, and before I knew it, I was over 190 pounds, and I'm short. So I joined Weight Watchers again in 2009, and I ended up losing 32 pounds, and I got back to goal. Now, in between all of these times, I was joining, and I'd quit. I'd join, I'd stay for about a month until I had that little tiny gain, and then I would quit it. Then I was do it again. And I remember one time I came in, weighed in, and never went back. So it was like, and that was before like the passage, you pay weekly, you know, so I would just, out of here. I wasn't committed, and that's what it was. I thought it was going to be a quick fix. I was going to go in there, I was going to lose. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle. Until that gets in my head, until it gets in your head, that's, you know, it's not going to, you have to be committed. You have to be fully in. If you have to be obsessed with it, so what? You have to be obsessed with it. And, you know, it's up to you. So, 2009, I did end up hitting goal again. And now they changed it from points to points plus. And I was angry about that because I don't know if any of you did the same thing. It's like every single time they change something, you have to learn it all over again. Well, no way am I going to learn a new one. So I can do this on my own. I'm just going to stay and do points. I'm just going to maybe come in, weigh in, and just leave. Well, I never came in and weighed. I just figured I could do it myself. Didn't happen. So I ended up gaining weight. It was about 20 pounds I had put on by the time it was 2012. Now, I was a 30-year smoker for 2 packs a day. I mean, I was chain smoking, and I worked full-time, so it was just a constant, and it was always on my mind, when can I have my cigarette? Where am I going to go to have my cigarette? Oh my gosh, I got to have a cigarette. I was totally addicted to it. So February 12th, 2012, I was done. I had been sick of it. I just quit. And I did use, like, you know, like the puffer and all that stuff just to kind of get me through. But I quit smoking 5 years ago. So I'm so proud of myself. That was huge for me. And I'm so thankful that I did that because it freed me. I wasn't a slave to it anymore. So that was one thing that was the weight, and then it was smoking. So then in 2013, my belly's showing, sorry. 2013, January 5th, I got really sick. And I was real weak. I couldn't walk. I was crawling to the bathroom. I was hemorrhaging and didn't realize that. I just thought my iron was low. I was bleeding to death, and my hematocrit, when I got to, my husband found me on the bathroom floor, called the ambulance, and they took me to the hospital. If anybody is a nurse in here, you'll understand my hematocrit was 2. Now, the ER doctor and the paramedics and the ICU doctor said they've never seen anybody survive a hematocrit of 2. My blood was clear. That's how bad it was. I had no red blood. It was clear blood. So they kept me in the hospital, and they tried getting my iron up. I had 6 pints of blood and 4 pints of plasma to save my life. And I came back, and the paramedics were coming in and checking on me because they really thought I was going to die. So they had to wait, and then on April 30th, I had a hysterectomy, which saved my life. So that was that time that I had to recuperate. I wasn't able to do anything. I'm putting all this weight on again. So then when I was finally better, in November of 2013, I joined a gym. Still didn't join Weight Watchers because I thought I could do it on my own again. I'm stubborn. I got a hard head. So I ended up going to the gym and barely really lost anything. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. And I was at a bad diet, very bad diet. I thought I was doing okay. But I did end up losing about 14 pounds from November to May. So May 10th, I go to this wedding. And I was so uncomfortable. It was my daughter's best friend who was getting married, so I had to go. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to wear and all that. So I, put something on and I was fine. So I go to the wedding and we're dancing and everything. Well, I didn't want my picture taken, and everybody knows how that is. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to stand in the back and I don't want my picture taken. Well, pictures were taken. I saw the very next day of myself on Facebook, and I was just devastated. I'm like, that's really me. I cannot believe it, because when you're looking at yourself, you look at yourself differently. When you see it in a picture, it's like an moment. So 2 days later, I walk in this room, and I sit down in one of those green chairs. And I sat there, and I thought, how did I get here again? Tears just streaming down my face. Nobody said anything to me. So it's really important if somebody walks in and you know that they're new, just welcome them, invite them, because they're in the same spot that you were in at one time. It's hard to walk in that door and humble yourself and say, I need help. So I just remember sitting there, and even though I'm a veteran and everything, it just stung so bad that I had to be here all over again. I lost all my weight. I'm going to do this again. So I'm having a pity party for myself a little bit, and then I was like, you know what, I can do this. I've done this twice already. I've been successful doing this twice. Why can't I do this again? So, let's see, I ended up weighing, when I got here, I was about 180 pounds this time, and I'm getting lost here. So then I ended up, that was in May, I ended up hitting my goal, which is the top of for my weight, on my height, was 140 pounds. I ended up getting there, and then I thought, you know what? Since I'm doing this already, I'm going to go and see how far I can go with this. I was an avid exerciser. By that time, I was, increasing my exercise. I had started off with about 30 minutes on the elliptical, and I started increasing it a little bit. And then by the time I hit the 140 in November, and then in March, I started to weight train. I started doing that and increasing that because I wanted to tone my body while I was end up losing weight. So I ended up losing 23 pounds more, so I got down to 117 pounds. I was just too thin. I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. I was not happy with that. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to just kind of figure out where I need to be. So then I found my number. And it's usually between, how bless you, between 122 and 126 I fluctuate. And that's my comfortable number. So if anybody thinks that they can't get to where they want to be, I had no idea what I had underneath my body. I had no clue as to what I was going to look like. And it's scary because you're like, am I going to recognize myself? What am I going to look like? Am I going to have loose skin? But you know what? I have loose skin, but I mean, you're never going to see it unless you see me naked, and you're not going to see me naked. I can bear a little bit and hide the parts that I don't, but so what? So what if you have loose skin? I mean, you're walking around with the fat on you. Wouldn't you rather have that rather than having that? So if you're scared because you don't know who you're going to be, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If you don't like it, you know how to gain weight. I know how to gain weight. I'm really good at that. So I do have a few things that I was going to show you. Now, these are pants that I wore to my daughter's funeral. They're size 20. Okay? They were tight, but at that day, I had nothing else to wear. They're huge for me, big for me. And I had nothing else to wear, and they were so tight. And I remember feeling so distracted at my own daughter's funeral that I was heavy. And that was on my mind. And I sit back and I think about that. Here I am, my daughter in there, and I'm thinking about my weight and what people are thinking of me. I mean, I think about that, and and granted, I was, devastated at the time, and let me see where this is. And then I ended up being in the magazine, and this was exciting for me. So I have a bunch of my friends that are on here. They're actual real friends of mine that are in here. If you don't follow them, I will tell you who they are. If you can tell and see who it is. It's all about the Connect app. Now, if you're not, a lot of you, of course, are from Connect. Thank you so much for coming today, too. But if you're not familiar with it, there's so much inspiration, and it'll tell you all about it inside here. Now, there's a few things also that I wanted to show you that there's also, this helps measuring, making sure you measure. Go back to the basics. If you're having a hard time, go back to the basics. This is a little portable scale that I take with me out to eat. I use it at work, everything. It's a cute little thing from Amazon. So this is, I just wanted to show you guys this. Then this wasn't working yesterday, so these are my before and after pictures. And I'll just go ahead, you guys can. Now, granted, I am hiding a lot of loose skin on these, so, all right. So I'll just pass these around. But I just wanted to thank all you guys for coming, and I know my story is my story, so you write your own story. You have your own way. You write your chapters. You got a story to tell just like I do. I have nothing different than anybody else. It's just I'm willing to share and bear a lot. So, all right, thank you so much.
So, do you feel